So meet Grace, meet Sandra, meet Dwayne. Please tell us your story so the community can know what has been going on with your parents and grandparents.
Right.
This is Grace, everybody.
Hello. I met Sandra. Our mothers used to sit together in the lounge in this sheltered accommodation, which is owned by Network Homes, and we're in the borough of Brent. This was pre-COVID, and then things took a little turn for the worse, both our mothers. A few years later, my mother had an alleged fall, and she ended up in the Northwick Park Hospital for 2 months. So she had the fall on the 29th of July. She didn't come out until the 29th of September.
September, isn't it?
Yeah,
Wow.
2 months. It was, yeah. So
You said alleged. What does that mean?
apparently she fell on her memory foam bed, against a memory foam bed. And
Interesting. Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Fractured their hip bone.
hips,
Oh, on the memory foam bed?
And fractured their
Okay.
hip bone.
multiple fractures, her toes, believe her jaws, and cuts, contusions down her.
All of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so we call it the alleged fall. She went into hospital, and like most elders, she was lactose intolerant. She was given lactose-containing foods.
Because they care, these hospitals,
Yes.
don't they?
She was dehydrated because I believe she had a fracture in her jaw and she couldn't chew
Is that from the alleged fall?
from the alleged fall. The hospital simply said, no, we think she has dementia and she's forgotten how to eat, and they
Wow.
they wouldn't put her on a drip, and she couldn't drink, and it was really hot, and they left her for 3 days to dehydrate. Anyway, by the time she was coming out of the hospital, she was in palliative, which means end-of-life condition, as they call it. So she came back. It was a big fight to get her back to a sheltered accommodation, and we took over the care. Her grandson was at the forefront of this, and I'm
Okay.
so grateful that he stepped in to not let his grandma die. She needed 24-hour care.
Good grandson. That's what we need to have, more people like that in the
Well,
community.
she would have done the same for me, isn't it? She's been growing me up when I was young. I was born in her hands.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to call my grandma Mama, my mum Paula. So yeah, it was like that. So like she's like, you know, my mum, I love her. But
Of course.
she's my mum.
Yes.
Yeah, my
yes.
grandma, I know if I was in the same position, she would
She'd
have
do the
done more
same.
than what I'm doing now.
Right.
She would have found something more to do to help me, you know. So it's only right I return the favour. When she was young, she used to tell me once a man, twice a child. So
That's right.
when I get older,
And
you
that's
have
the
to look
truth.
after me, you know. So yeah, but apart from just me loving my grandma, when it came to the hospital, what I've noticed with the hospital is they don't care. And like Mark, you said, everything was branded lactose intolerant. She was still they found to give her custard, yogurt, this shepherd's pie that has milk in the mashed potato, and that's not helping her, you know. And you know that diseases are caused from mucus. These are all mucusy substances.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
that's just going to make it deteriorate. But on to the next thing, what I really want to talk about, which I know my auntie probably left me to say, is like, yeah, end your life care, my auntie called it, not end of life care, it's end your life care. Because why I say that is what's happening now, they're trying to get in the house, they're trying to get in there and give dose my grandma with morphine, and she's not in pain.
Wow.
Like, we've got all the...
Who's trying to do this?
The district nurses, what else is district nurses?
The palliative, St Luke's Hospice,
St. Luke's Hospice.
palliative team, they haven't even seen my mother, they haven't even come out.
Exactly.
They prescribe drug sedatives.
So what are they, technically, what is your mother supposed to have? Your grandma's supposed to have? What is it meant to be?
She didn't even have any pain medication in the hospital. She was given paracetamol.
And this is for what illness are they trying to say?
she
Allegedly.
didn't have any
it's just
illness.
a bone fracture she had.
And it healed.
It healed.
It was successful. So they're giving her morphine because she had a bad time in hospital. And they
But
put
why
her-
didn't they give her morphine when she was in hospital? Why was she being pain afterwards, coming home, and then while you're in hospital, you're not giving her none of this care? So what I always say is, even what my auntie done was great, because they're trying to put these old people in nursing homes. Yeah?
Yes.
They're trying to kill them off. So what my auntie did, which was good, she gave them a 2-week trial, which has gone way over that. She said, listen, don't try and put my mum in a nursing home. Yeah, what we're going to do is you give her 2 to us, and then we see if there's an improvement, and then after if there's no improvement, then we can speak on nursing homes. But give us 2 weeks. My aunt already knew my grandma was going to heal. Do you understand? She already knew, because we already knew that the hospital care was rubbish.
Yeah.
As soon as my grandma came home, I remember the first day I came home to my grandma, she looked better. It's like she already knew that she's not in the hospital. Just the fact knowing that she's not in there.
Very important. Very important.
Do you understand?
Very important.
You understand?
Very important. And for a young man, you know your stuff, and I'm really proud to hear it, because you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So, Sandy, tell me about your situation with your mother.
My situation with my mum, okay, so my mum's been here over 4 years, and in zero time really, things with the in-house carers who were dealing with my mum at the time went down very, very quickly. Things that have happened. When Mum first moved in, I made it clear that my mother must never ever be medicated by anybody but me.
Okay.
If anything was ever to go wrong, it's only me that the police have to look for. Fair
Okay.
enough?
Yeah.
And the manager at the time had emailed Brent Council.
And the manager of where, sorry?
Sorry, of the care home manager here at the time.
Okay.
Had emailed Brent Council to say that I had said I
Right.
don't want anybody but me to medicate my mum. However, my mother was overdosed. And once
what was
I
the
realised-
results from that overdose?
Very, 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 very tired. She was very, very tired.
She's tough.
Yeah, she's a real
Right.
tough old, just my mum. But she was very, very lethargic.
Right.
You know.
Was she? How was she with her words? Could she speak at that point? And how was she with her words?
She could speak, but she didn't do much of it.
Right. After that overdose.
After that overdose, there was absolutely nothing written down in the logbook. Obviously, I alerted the then care home manager and told her to stay with my mum while I run out to the doctor. Obviously alerted them. They needed to look up what she was on and the effects of an overdose and everything. She wasn't taken to hospital. I didn't object to her not being taken to hospital. I stayed with my mum all through the night and kept on checking on her to ensure that she was okay. You know, she was going to pull through, and she did. Within 72 hours, she was almost overdosed again.
And so you brought this up to, I take it, to the Brent Council. Who did you bring it to?
I called Brent Council, I informed Safeguarding, I informed the CQC, I informed the police.
Right.
Yeah?
What was said once you informed everybody?
Well, very little to me.
Okay.
What has always happened from the jump, Brent Council, the dialogue between the family member, the carer, and Brent Council is really sparse.
And they punish you.
Yeah.
We've done the same thing.
Yeah.
But we're determined.
Because I do not fear Brent Council.
Good for you.
Right?
Good.
Good for you guys speaking up, because the community needs to know.
I am a thorn in their side, but I do not care.
Good
That's
for you.
my mum.
That's right.
Right.
The only one you have.
To do.
We need to do more videos like this, and people should just do it at home and just send it out, because this is the year of revelation.
Yeah.
It's everybody's been exposed. I know you've got some video footage of. I remember you telling me a story about.
So my mum was assisted to go to the bathroom, to use the bathroom, and while she was on the loo, you could see on the camera, you could see that there was sufficient toilet roll there, right? The carer chose to walk over to the other side of the bathroom and get my mother's flannel. She picked up the
Face
flannel,
Face
her
flannel.
face flannel, and she went and went to the sink, put water on it, got my mum off the toilet, and wiped my mother with the face flannel. Right, there's loo roll right there. Okay. When she finished, she put a little bit more water on the flannel and put it right back where she had taken it
Like,
from.
wash it off.
Just put a little bit of water on it. Right. Now, if we didn't happen to see that, because my daughter was, and that happened the day after we had the CCTV installed everywhere.
So they didn't know about the CCTV?
No, they knew.
Right.
I've got signs everywhere. It's not hidden. It's everywhere.
Saying about the towel in the bathroom.
Yeah. Again, I always have sufficient amounts of loo roll, right? But because they're so wicked, right? My mum's towel on 2 occasions actually has been used in replace of toilet roll to clean her rear end. That towel with faeces on it was then hung back up on the door in the bathroom, right? That same towel with faeces on it was then used to dry my mother off after a shower. Okay? There are other times where she'd go to the toilet, they would either clean her inadequately or not clean her at all. Bring her to her bedroom and sit her down on her bed without her underwear on. Once she has then helped up off the bed, you've got faeces left on the bed. I had a meeting with social services, right? And a member of staff was brought in from London Care, and she was asked directly, when there is faeces on the bed, what do you do? And she simply went like this. We just leave it until Sandra gets here to deal with it.
Until you come
Yeah.
and deal with it.
Yeah. There have been incidences where there's faeces on the bed. They would put my mum to bed, right? I never used to do that. And if there was faeces in the bed sheets, not on the duvet, right? They're putting my mum in that same bed. One day, Mum said, "Oh, I'm tired. I want to go to bed." And this was before the carer was due to come and put Mum to bed. So I put my mum to bed. I threw the duvet back to see that there was faeces
Okay.
in my
Can't
mum's
leave it to
bed.
the carers. That's
So
another
I-
thing. Yeah.
That's horrible.
Can't trust the
listen.
carers.
Well, that's not. They can't call them
What I've
carers.
had to do, I have kept these things back as evidence. I have bedding with faeces on it. I have towels with faeces on it. When I've had a meeting in here with a senior member of social services and her underling, right? One of them told me, the senior one told me, your standards are too high. I've got bedding on the floor spread out so you can see the faeces, right? I've got a towel there. And I've explained things. I'm showing you physical evidence, but yet you have the audacity to tell me that my standards are too high.
Wow.
Now, seeing that, obviously, I was absolutely horrified.
Of course.
Right? I had to leave all the way from where I live and come back here to get rid of that flannel and put a fresh one.
Right.
Right? A few days after that, my mum got this cluster of bumps, rash, very near her genitalia. But that was the second time that had happened, that this cluster had come out. And I couldn't understand it the first time. When I took Mum to the doctors the first time, she was given medication, some sort of ointment, cleared it up, okay. When it happened the second time, I said, I'm not taking her to the doctor. I took her to Northwick Park. And
Norfolk Park is a hospital.
excuse me, I beg your pardon, it was Park Royal, excuse me.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, Central Middlesex, yeah. And I showed the doctor examining my mum the footage, and I said, do you think that this rash could have come up because of what this woman is doing to my mum? She said, it's very possible. She said, Sandra, that's abuse and you need to take that to the police. I knew it was abuse.
Right.
And yes, I did go to the police and showed them and everything. And the doctor had to raise a safeguarding, showed it to the police. They had to raise a safeguarding. You know, they informed social services, blah, blah, blah. A few days later, social services called me, asked me to go in and speak with them. asked to have a copy of the footage, which I said no, it's my property.
That's right.
You've seen it, so you know it exists, right?
And a social worker, from my understanding, you did speak to a social worker, but they said something. What did they say to you, Sandra?
The social worker, the social worker. I mean, apart from requesting the footage, she really didn't say. She really didn't say much of anything. They don't really say much of anything because they don't want to incriminate themselves. But where I've insisted on copies of safeguarding reports, if they feel like sending it, they'll send it. If they don't, they won't.
Yeah, so you put that in writing that you've requested it. So that's all you can do. It just piles up. It's just paperwork. It's something we're going to have to learn to do.
So, what do you want to be done?
We want more people to step in, more people who are having problems, because I'm tired of hearing, oh yeah, they did that to my dad, he died, they killed my mum. Yeah.
And who's they? Who's
exactly, they just say they. And
no, what agencies are we talking about? Because if we're going to expose, we're going to have to expose properly. Okay,
so the district nurse service, your palliative teams.
Who are your care agencies to do with here?
Right, they're actually independent contractors called London Care. And
their name comes up again.
The owners of this sheltered accommodations are called Network Homes.
Okay.
Now they are responsible for the Grenfell debacle, and we're calling this the second Grenfell because they're actually removing residents. And those, in different ways.
Exactly.
We won't go into that.
They've always done it. It's a known factor. It's a known fact. They've always done it. Okay. So your mother now, how's your mother and your grandmother doing now?
My grandma, she's doing much better than when she's in hospital. We're communicating. The only thing she's not doing right now is just walking, the mobility.
Right, and that's because of what they... what's done.
No physiotherapy.
You've asked for physiotherapy for a long time.
We've been in the hospital, we've been dealing
And this is pre-COVID, right?
No, this was during COVID.
No, they've actually finally agreed to the physiotherapy because, but this was a long fight through accusations. They tried safeguarding, they tried coming in without any appointments, they tried breaking in. Thankfully, we just had big Dwayne there, come out, everyone came out, but that's another thing we need. We need more of the youngsters
more men.
to step in, more men to just say no, because...
I mean, it's again family unity. It's about bringing back old school. It's the family unity because it works every time.
Yeah, and community unity.
Another thing that I have to say as well, what we must have, you must always try and have CCTV in the property.
100.
Right? When I first installed the CCTV, Brent wrote to me and told me that I had installed these cameras without their permission. I got back to Brent, no, I don't need their permission, right? And I got back to Brent and I said, when the carers were stealing my mum's food, clothing, bedding and internet access, and the police know about that too, they didn't seek my permission. The carers didn't seek my permission. Where are we going with this dialogue?
So what I would say to the community, please share it. Please, this story is not new. We've all got these stories. I had 2 parents that have passed away. I have stories. We all have stories. Please, this is the year of exposure. Share this video, make it go viral, and let it be known. And thank you very, very much for your time.
Can I say one more thing before we go? Just to the young people, just like you said right now, we are living in the book of Revelation. If you're a Christian, we are living in the times of Revelation. What I'll say to a lot of people, young people, your mothers, whether it's your mother, your grandma, your auntie, make yourself a guardian. Because what they're doing, refusing people in the hospitals, they're turning people away due to COVID. So what you need to do is make your parents, make yourself a guardian, next of kin. If your relative has got dementia, you're allowed access in as well. So I'll just let a lot of people know, because they get turned. I've seen a lot of people get turned away from the doors. So you just make sure you're a guardian. They can't turn you away. And if your relative has got dementia, and all the young people, if your family members, man, the ones that look after you, make sure you look after them when they're old, man. Don't just leave them in the care homes and believe that's it. No, that's not it. They're humans still, they're still alive and they're feeling. So just make sure you're there to protect them because they would have done the same for you.
Beautiful thing to end on.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's it.
Okay, people.